Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello, my friends. It's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, I'm joined by my friend
Greg Dixon.
as we continue the 101 best games of all time, and Greg's going to debunk my list, or apparently I'm debunking his top 10 list that he thinks is going to be mine.
We're not going to say which ones, but go back and watch the last few videos because there's been two that I predicted would be in the top 10. I've got this little envelope here, and I thought they were at least in the top 20 for sure, but probably in the top 10. There's been two already that we've already seen.
One in just the last episode that we did with Greg, so check that one out. And
I was shocked.
Just before this came out, I actually did the 30 to 21 with just myself, where I explained how the games are played. So if you want to know how these games are played and just like more details of exactly how they're played, watch that. This is going to be us kind of just schmoozing around, talking about it. And
color commentary.
Color commentary is a good way to look at it. So let's get started with number 30 to 21. Let's start with number 30. Well, at the end of last video, we ended with an abstract strategy game.
Yes.
We're going to start this video with an abstract strategy game that I know that you love.
Okay.
We found it at BGG-Con many years ago.
Queen Games?
Yes.
Glux.
It's about light. How did you guess that so fast?
You said it's an abstract strategy game that I really love. I'm like, Glux.
I feel like we're playing Time's Up, and no one else knows our little hidden jokes.
This game is so underrated.
So underrated.
And so easy to learn, but so difficult to master.
Yes.
And it feels very different every time you play it, and it feels very different with different player counts.
I wish they would have come out with new maps for it, though.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
It wouldn't be that hard, right?
It'd be super easy. You could make your own.
It must not have sold well, or they would have done that.
I don't think it did. I think it kind of came and went. I think most people, even now, years later, are looking at this going, Glux? What is Glux?
And I remember, like, a couple of years ago at Christmas time, Amazon was selling these for like $5. And this is like a big box game.
Yeah.
This was selling for $40, I think.
At one point, there was a cool, and I picked it up, there's a cool little promo with some special ability tiles.
No way.
Yeah, you never saw that?
No.
BGG was selling
Were they little queenies?
Yeah, it's just like, I think it's 4 extra tiles for each player that let you break the rules. Like you get to move diagonally one time and stuff.
Oh, that looks like fun.
But yeah, this is like the most stripped down sort of area control kind of a game, or area majority kind of a game there is. And it's a little spatial and a little bit mathy.
Very mean.
Super mean, super in your face.
Yeah.
But like so simple to learn.
You can cover other people.
Yeah, you're fighting tooth and nail for each spot.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's always very tight, the scores.
Yeah. Best at 2 and 4. Works at 3, but the board's a little wonky with 3. It kind of feels like one person is left alone a little too much. You almost have to kind of like police them a little more, I feel like. Or like go their direction more than you would normally. But at 2 and 4, it's so good.
Yeah.
Glux is so underrated. If you could find, I think it's out of print. I think it's hard to find.
I bet you it's impossible to find.
It's probably super hard to find, but
I wish they'd bring this back. This thing's awesome.
Yeah, maybe at some point someone else will be able to do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just a grid.
Yeah,
and your pieces, and you already went through this, I'm sure, in your last video, but the pieces are just look like die pips.
Yeah,
and you get all you're doing is pulling from a bag and deciding which side to place. And how whatever number that is lets you know kind of how far you can go off of that. And so what's fun is the way your choices sort of exponentially spiderweb as you go.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the beginning, you're like, well, I'm just going to go here or here. And then more and more choices as you go. But the board's also fuller and fuller, and you're blocked more and more places. So that kind of counteracts the fact that
it's kind of an interesting arc.
Yeah, you never feel like, oh, there's too many choices to really think. And so much of this game is prioritizing, is going, I need to do these 4 things fairly soon, but which one's the most important, and trying to weigh all that out, and you go, this seems like a lot of thinking, and you're like, yeah, but it takes 15, 20 minutes, and you can learn it in 2.
Yeah. You know? The thing I love the best about this is you're trying to get into these little areas to control them, and the number on the pips is your power. So if you put a 6 in there, you have a power of 6.
Yeah.
But because it's a 6, anytime you place a piece from there, you have to go 6 away, which will take you out of that area.
Yes.
So you might put a 1 and another 1 and maybe a 2.
Right.
And you might have, now you only have 4 as total power.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've also, it's just, there's so many different ways to look at it.
If someone said it's an area control game where the tile you draw, the bigger the number, the stronger it is, you go, well, then it would suck if you got 1s. No, 1s are great.
Yeah.
Because 1s allow you to like cover all around them. You could pop off these ones and fill in these spots, and you can cover the other players with the ones really well.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than popping next to someone 6 with a 1 and they go, oh crap, he's about to cover my piece. So anyway, there's a lot of tension.
And you can cover your own piece.
Yes, one
so
time.
You can, right, and there can only be 2. So you can see that someone else is going to cover you. You can get in there and cover it yourself and be like, you know what?
Yep. But you have to set that all up.
I know.
It's a genius little game. It's such a simple, clean, elegant idea.
Underrated.
Crazy underrated. I think Queen games in general is underrated, by the way. That's a whole other discussion. But this, no one thinks of this game when they think of Queen. There's other games that come to mind. They think of Alhambra or whatever, but they don't think of Glux, unfortunately.
This is a hidden gem.
Well-deserved. Greg Dixon seal of approval.
Number 30, Deluxe. Number 29, we've been talking about deduction games. This is another older, out-of-print, hidden gem of a deduction game. Actually, I think it's co-designed by Antoine Bauza, actually.
Oh, shoot.
Big, huge. Back in the day, there was one publisher that was decade ahead of everybody else in production.
Yeah.
Now everyone's kind of caught up.
Yeah.
Days of Wonder did amazing productions. This was one of those games.
They set the standard.
Yeah, they did set the standard. Yeah. And this game came and went.
And if you want a game about monks.
Nope.
What?
It's not it.
Isn't that their big deduction?
That was their big selling deduction game,
Mystery
which
of
I
the
think
Abbey.
is also on print.
You like the train one. What's that freaking train one called?
What's the movie called with the train and murders?
Orient Express or Mystery Express? Mystery Express.
The movie's Orient Express. This is Mystery Express.
Yes. Okay, they also did Mystery of the Abbey, right? Isn't that Days of Wonder as well?
Mystery of the Abbey was way more popular than this.
I like Mystery of the Abbey a lot. And I'm
Mystery
not a big
of the Abbey
deduction
is like,
person.
That's why you would like it. Because it's more approachable.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
That's more of a family game.
Well, you talked about Clue last week. And Mystery of the Abbey kind of takes that idea, because you're going to different locations and stuff as well.
Mystery of the Abbey is good too.
This one I need to play again. It's been a while, but I remember it being really thinky.
This is a brain burning.
Yeah.
If you do not like, this is Clue on steroids. Like in Clue, there's one knife, there's one lead pipe.
Right.
You see it, you cross it off. This game has 2 cards of everything.
Oh my gosh.
And you have to see both cards in the same round of actions. Because if you don't, you'll see a card once. At the end of the round, those cards might move to another player. And if you see it again, you're like, oh crap, is that the one I just saw?
Is this a second revolver, or is this the same one again?
You have to try to like hammer down a certain type of card to make sure you see them twice in the same round.
Do you think that's why it wasn't a bigger hit?
No, the reason why it wasn't a bigger hit is because there's this weird time thing where at the end of each round, this weird time deck comes out, and it does all these different things. Like sometimes someone just flips cards. Sometimes you draft them and you pass cards. And it's a clock, and you have to like deduce which time of the clock is not present. And
I vaguely remember
it's like a mini game, and if you don't know the solution to the puzzle, it's the stupidest thing anyone's ever put in a game. But once you actually like know how it works, it's actually quite clever, but everyone hated it. The other reason why people hated this game is because it often ends in ties. And 3/4 through the game,
that's not satisfying.
But 3/4 through the game, you can predict what the outcome is.
Okay.
You get positive points if you're right. You get negative points if you're not.
Ooh,
and you
high stakes.
You put a telegram under the board. I actually like that because when it's tied, it goes to that. Kind of like think straight. Like it's a press your luck.
Yeah.
How sure am I of this?
Right.
But some people didn't like that aspect too. I actually like both of those aspects. I do think if it was redone today, they would streamline. It's actually like a Euro game. You have action points.
Right.
You spend 4 action points, you go to this car, the dining car, and you do this action. You go to this car, and you do 3 points, you do this action. One of the actions is, I'm going to take this amazing looking resin suitcase, and you're going to put it in your hand, and you're going to try to hide it. And if I pick the right one, I get to take one of your cards. So it's got this wonky, it's a little wonky.
It's got a lot of elements thrown into one design, right?
For something that's as thinky and as brain burning.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of weird things that could turn the game, and some people don't like that.
I predict that there's a little frustration for you with this one, because I bet it's hard for you to find people to play this with.
It's very hard.
So you're probably like, I love this game, but it doesn't get to the table.
And you need at least 3. It's one of those normal deduction games. But it's if you have 3 sleuths that love this type of game, oh my gosh, like it's so good.
It's too much like homework for me, man. Oh, I know. I remember being like, whoa, there's a lot going on here.
You ever play those Euro games where you're like, turn 1, turn 2, you get halfway done and you go, I'm never going to get anything done.
Yes.
And then you get to the end, you're like, I can't believe how much I got done.
Yeah.
That's how this
This
feels.
has that same
At the
kind of
beginning,
arc.
you're like, there's no way I'm even going to find 2 of the 5 things.
Yeah.
And towards the end, usually you could get to 4 of them.
Oh, it's 5 different things too?
Yeah.
That's an extra
Well, 'cause
level.
it adds the time.
Yeah. Oh, because you're solving a murder and you're also figuring out when it happened.
Yes.
Is that what it's supposed to be thematically? Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's all like
This is
coming back to me
also-
slowly as you discuss
This is
it.
also impossible to find. It's
Yeah.
it's been out of print for years.
Yeah.
I don't sleeve a lot of games. I've sleeved this game because in an deduction game, if you
Yeah.
can tell what a card is, it breaks the game.
Yeah, the one with the corners, the knife,
right.
or whatever. Yeah.
But man, Stephanie liked this. I think we played it
I
with
think
her
she
once, and she
did.
really liked it.
She really liked. You gotta, bring this over sometime. I bet she'd love to play this again.
Yeah, then that means you have to play.
I'll play. I'll do it for the love of my wife.
Actually, I think when we played this the one time, you won.
Did I? I'm surprised because I just remember going like, "Whoa, there's a lot of moving pieces here."
This is a heavy deduction game.
Yeah.
Not heavy in mechanisms, but heavy in
Not
thinking.
not hard to play, but just hard to do well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mystery Express.
Another game you
Number
can't
29.
buy, folks.
Yeah, sorry. 29, Mystery Express. Number 28 is a ladder climbing game. Is my favorite ladder climbing game. And it's one where, I'll just spill the beans. This is one where you can actually change the value of the cards as you're playing them.
Change the value of the cards as you're
Using the
playing.
card crafting system
Is this
in
the?
AEG.
Oh, it's like the hero. What's
Yes,
it called?
You're close enough.
Hero something. Custom heroes.
Custom Heroes.
Now is this one still being
I think-
printed and
I think
supported?
you can still get
and
this, and I'm not the only one that thinks this. They've come out with a lot of these card crafting
Yeah.
games. A lot of people agree with me that this is the best one they've come
That's
out
the
with.
same guy who did the Space Base, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And everything else that AEG puts out.
that's a good point.
Ecos and
Easy guess, right?
John D. Clare. Yeah, he does great stuff.
And I remember making kind of a big splash because, you're sleeving things and literally the icons on the sleeves make the card look different and all that. But I felt like it came and went a little bit. But
Oh, it totally did.
okay.
Oh, yeah. It came and went.
But they came out with some expansions and stuff. I mean,
Not for this.
No, it was just the base game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
I love this. It has an economy to it. It's so fun when you watch someone playing something. Like, ladder climbing games are already hard enough where you're sitting there and you're like, I really want to stay in this one, but if I get rid of this card, it's going to
Yeah.
break this setup, and you have to think for the end.
That's right.
And then you're sitting there and you're like, someone's thinking really hard, or you're thinking really hard, and you're like, and you drop a coin or two, and you go, and everyone goes, oh God, what are they doing? Because you're like, you've got all these little tricks behind your shield.
Yeah.
And you're like, you slide this thing in there, and you put it in there, and you're like, oh man, that's a cool ability. And the coolest thing is at the end of the hand, you just made this cool card to like make this huge run. You throw it there, or you have this card that like made cards that like normally go up to like 11. Now it's like a 24. And you throw it out there and you're like, yes. Well, guess what? The end of the round, that card gets shuffled up and it's probably going to be in someone else's hands. And it's like,
forgot about
it's
that.
so cool.
Careful
And
what
you've got,
you...
and as you're playing, you're remembering like what cards
Yeah.
people have made, and that
Yeah.
will help you think, okay, well, someone's got a 24 out there.
Yeah.
I got to be, it's just
Careful
it's-
what you craft. It could come back and
The only
slap
knock
you
on
later.
this is it can go a little. It's about a 60-minute card game.
Doesn't it have like a weird ending too?
It's got an ending where you got to win. You've got to have a certain amount of 10 points, and then you have to win first. And if you don't do
Yeah.
that by the end of the 6th round, then the top 2 just go head to head. So the ending can
remember
it can
it feeling
drag
clumsy
it
at
can
the
drag
end.
a little bit at the end, but it doesn't matter. The game's just so good.
It's good enough for you.
You never
that it
stop
overcomes.
crafting. So even though the game lasts a while, like the
Yeah.
cards just get more and more interesting.
Huh. This feels like something that needed to be expanded upon.
Yeah.
Like it would do it, because so much of it is, customizing everything.
Yeah.
It could really be cool if they just kept coming out with new sets and new themes and all that kind of stuff. But it sounds like it kind of
Oh man.
came and went.
I love card games, and this one's just so clever.
It found a fan in you, but not enough other people.
Yeah. I don't know. I love it though. I'm surprised you don't like it more because you like card games.
I remember liking it, but it seemed like the things we're discussing, like the ending was weird and it took too long, and it just felt like it needed a little development.
Yeah. I love it though. I played it any day. Custom
Wow,
Heroes.
28.
28. Number 27.
Wow. Getting
I'm
really
just going to
high.
give you 2 clues.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to give you 2 words.
2 words. Uh-oh.
Abstract Knizia.
Abstract Knizia. Oh, you like... I was going to say ingenious. No. You like Axio. Axio's the one you like. This is like the squared off version of Ingenious.
It looks like Quirkle.
Yeah, it's Quirkle. It looks like Quirkle, and it feels kind of like Ingenious.
It's like Ingenious, which did it win the Spiel des Jahres, or was it the year that Ticket to Ride won, and then Ingenious would have won in any other year?
I don't think Ingenious won.
No, but I think it was Ticket to Ride was the same year that was nominated. Maybe.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I remember looking at Ingenious going, "Oh, well, duh! If it was any other year, it would have won."
But this adds some extra element. I'm trying to remember what it is.
It's so much better than Ingenious because you're trying to like surround an empty square, and then you get to put a pyramid, and then you get everything that surrounds it.
Okay.
Which is so cool. So part of the game is like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't want to set the next player up to close in a section to get that pyramid because you're getting so many extra turns when you do that.
And does this also have the Kinesia scoring where like the one you did the least in is your score?
Yep.
Okay.
And it scales perfectly 2, 3, and 4. I think it's actually best with 2, but I'll never play it. Like I'll never not play it in any player count.
Yeah.
Because the board scales 2, 3, 4 just like Ingenious does.
Right.
Yeah, this is.
Well, I love Ingenious.
And I actually just played this like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, super easy to teach.
And 3 people had never played it before. Super easy to teach.
Do you think it's easier even than Ingenious in some ways to teach?
It's about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super easy to teach. It's so good, though.
Yeah. Just surround a place, take a pyramid in, score.
Yep.
But it's like, it's simple enough, but actually pulling it off.
I mean, even in Ingenious, it's like a brother to Ingenious.
Yes.
Where it's like you see what color that your opponent is least of, and you cut that color off the board and you strangulate them.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's a mean game.
That's the way to go.
But it's so good.
Yeah, I'd love to play this one again. I remember liking it. I love Ingenious. I love a good abstract game, especially a good abstract game like Deluxe that we talked about, right?
I actually bought this one at
You can learn
Gen
super
Con.
fast. Oh, you did?
Because like Pegasus Spiel was like their first year like having a presence in America because they started like their own division out here.
Okay.
And I didn't even know they were going to bring this over. It was only available in Germany.
Do you know if this is still like easy to get?
I think you can still get this one.
Okay. Yeah, this is kind of an underrated gem.
I love this.
27 though, dude.
I love this one.
Wow.
Like, love this one.
More than Glux.
Yeah.
More than Santorini. I'm thinking of all the other abstracts.
Yeah, I do. I like it better than both of those.
Wow.
I like abstracts more than I thought.
Yeah, you have a lot on this list.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to think back several weeks back to some of the early videos we did, but I know just in the last little while you've named 2 or 3.
Spoiler, the next one's not abstract.
No. It's either deduction, social deduction, or abstract.
It's deduction.
It's deduction.
All right, number 27, Ryan Kinesia's Axio. Number 26, I believe, was like my number 3 when I did my top 100 7 years ago at the Dice Tower.
Oh, wow.
It is a deduction game. It is
an
a
older
big,
deduction game.
big hidden movement game.
Big hidden movement game. Spectre Ops?
Bigger.
Bigger than Spectre Ops? You haven't played Fury of Dracula, have you?
Not that, but it's in that genre of it's a fancy fight title.
Letters from Whitechapel?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. For some reason I was thinking you already did this one. Okay. Yes. This is hidden. This is good.
We actually talked about this a few weeks ago. We weren't talking about the list or anything, but we were talking about how Letters from Whitechapel, like the reason why it doesn't come to the table a little bit more is there's like a lot of for as easy as the game is, they cluttered it up with a lot of little phases. A lot of you do this and you put these tokens this way and 2 of them can be bluffs and then you can flip one over.
Yeah.
But it actually adds a lot to the strategy of the game.
It does, but
it also bogs it down.
I think it's dropped off somewhat for me because of that.
That's why it dropped from number 3.
Yeah,
I think that's where it was to number 26.
Still in the top 30. It's really plummeted for me because it just doesn't get to the table.
Well,
because
thing is,
you have to go through each time and remind yourself, how does this work again?
I know.
Because it's not as simple as just you move and they try to chase you and they check the area.
The majority of the game is that.
Yeah, but there's so many other little phases and cleanups and setups that I just feel like it. Now, they did do like a streamlined version that I never played.
Whitehall.
Okay, is that one better? Is it?
I liked it, but I didn't like it as much because yes, they did what we just talked about.
But made it worse.
They took all that other wacky fiddly stuff out, and they did just the chase.
And it didn't work.
I didn't like it as much.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't quite the same experience.
Because I've had a lot.
Because the map was smaller and this and that, Like in here, you're trying to get back to the same spot every time,
Yes, which I like.
which I really like.
I love being chased in this game. I love being Jack the Ripper. It's so satisfying when they're so far off base. But I've had a lot of plays of this too where, it's going to sound like bragging, but where I've just demolished. You know, I played as a 2-player a lot. And so there's just the one other person, and they just never really even get close.
Well,
they have you narrowed down to like a quarter of the board or a half of the board, and the game's over already.
So because of two things with this, especially with 2 players.
Yeah.
So you got to get the app that does the Jack selector, and you have to do it on difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Okay.
Because first of all, you got to pick one that's like a little harder to get to.
The app tells you where your base is.
Yes, you pick a difficulty, and it tells you where the base is. So we always just pick difficult. Okay.
I'd forgotten about that app, but you're right. I've used
so
that
that's
before.
one thing. And 2, I always play with all of the ways to make it a little easier for the investigators, which means the area arrest. So I don't have to just I don't just arrest one spot. I can arrest every adjacent spot.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Those 2 things alone. There's one other thing I think we do, but those 2 things makes it a lot more balanced.
Because I do think it's really hard for the police, especially when there's just one player playing.
Just those 2 things: difficult, hideout, and area arrest, and it really balances it.
Yeah, I just think there's been a few weird plays. There's a lot of little clunky phases, and because of that, it's dropped for me. That said,
me too. It's awesome.
It's still one of the best hidden movement games.
It's probably a 90-minute game too.
You think this is heavier than Spectre Ops?
Yes, just because of mostly the phases and stuff.
Yeah.
Spectre Ops has more fiddliness and like the
special
shooting and the abilities. And
when do I have to reveal?
And oh, I forgot that you ran in front of me. Like I didn't realize your guy was there. I didn't put a token. It ruins. It had a little fiddliness too.
So what's the best, most streamlined, but still has some weight hidden movement game? Because I love this genre, and I haven't played Fury of Dracula yet. I've been wanting to. It's on my like bucket list. You know, my like someday gaming list. But
yeah,
I want that game that's just clean and slick.
Probably Mr. X, which was a sequel to
I have played
Scotland Yard.
To Scotland Yard.
That's probably the cleanest.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be light. I still want it to be challenging. You know what I mean? It's really a fine line. Yeah. And I think a lot of these games struggle with doing it and doing it well.
Well, the new one that we played, Mind Management, might be a good one for that.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, we played it once.
I need to play it more because I'm more and more hearing good buzz about it. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers.
Well, I mean, we played the training mission once.
Yeah, but it was just a training mission, so it was hard to know if it was going to feel as like fulfilling or whatever. I mean, let me tell you, getting away with it in Letters from Whitechapel, especially when it's close, like they're right near you and they try to rest and they just miss you or whatever. I mean, it is so satisfying when you get away with it. I don't think I've ever played it on the other side.
Oh, really?
Maybe once or twice.
I can see you not liking that because it's work for you.
Yeah, I think I just like running. It's so satisfying when you get... Spectre Ops the same way.
Yeah.
When you're able to get away in the nick of time.
So, Letter from Whitechapel, 26.
Good choice.
Number 25 is a worker placement route building game from Renegade Game Studios. That was my game of the year it came out.
Worker placement
Kane Klenko is the designer.
Worker placement route.
Dice worker placement. Route building. Game of the year, Kane Klenko, spy theme.
Holy crap, I'm feeling really dumb right now.
It wasn't a big game.
Like, have I played this? Oh, I played this with you like one time. You loved this game.
I still love this game.
I don't remember it very well.
Another highly underrated game.
Yeah, it kind of came and went.
Yep.
Did it even come?
As most games these days.
Yes. Covert. Okay, tell me. I know you did another video that I haven't seen where you talk about how this works, but give me like the little Reader's Digest version because I'm trying to remember what it is about this one that stood out for you so much.
It's just the way everything works together. The worker placement's awesome because you're placing dice to take certain actions, but you've got to put, if you're the first one to action, you place it anywhere. Everyone else has to take a die, and it has to depend on what the die is next to it. Because you've got to place next to dice that are there, but the number of what they place depends on what die you could put there. So you could like block, you could like do cool things to block people because you know that they only have these dice left, and I'm going to put this over here.
Right.
You're grabbing missions. So then you're going off and you're getting different things like spy gear and stuff to do these missions.
That's right.
And you're trying to go on the board and go to different spots. I have a guy in this region, and I have this article. I can do this mission. Some of the missions give you a lot of points, but other missions give you like engine building of like, oh, now I have this for every other mission. Then there's like a cool like code cracking aspect.
I remember that.
Where like you're manipulating the things and the dice and where you can move it to, and there's so many cool, clever things in there.
But it doesn't feel bloated.
No.
My recollection.
But there's a lot going on.
Even though there's a lot going on, it doesn't feel. It still feels like it all works. It all works together well. I remember being impressed, but it wasn't. I didn't run out and buy it, obviously, but I remember liking it.
Yeah, the dice placement, worker placement part is so cool.
I kind of forgotten about this. You keep pulling out ones like Mystery the Abbey and or Mystery Express and stuff that I kind of haven't thought about in ages.
This one's fantastic.
Covert.
I wonder if it's still available. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to
Who's the
look
publisher on this one?
Renegade. We'll have to find out. This
Yeah.
If you like worker placement and route building and objectives, hidden objectives,
Yeah.
it's this
And a
one's
cool
good.
theme. You're right.
Yeah.
And the theme, it feels like the theme, as I recall.
Yeah. Covert, number 25. Number 24 was my strategy game of the year, I believe, last year.
Is this another game I've totally forgotten about? No, you said it was last year.
Yeah, I think it was last year was my strategy game of the year, I believe. This has polyominoes in it, and you're building these polyominoes up on a board, but you're also placing these cool like airships in different spots.
Whistle, what is it? Whistle Mountain. Wow.
This game's
This
amazing
is really
to me.
high, 24.
I love this game. I mean, I really liked Whistle Stop when it first came out, the stock market, and the route building, and the
you
abilities.
definitely liked this one more.
And this took that idea and just went in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
It's very different from Whistle Stop, but it also has some similarities to it. But this one is, oh my gosh, the puzzliness, the fact that like every player is playing these polyominoes, and you're now creating like the board.
Yeah.
Like every game is different because you're now creating spaces that other players can put machines on.
Right.
It's so clever. And there's worker placement. There's the tile placement.
Right, the spatial
rescuing
kind of.
your guys.
Yeah.
Fighting for the rewards on the tiers and how high up the water gets.
And you have like different ships you can put down. And
Yeah, that take up different amount of space.
Right.
And the bigger ships allow you to get more goods, but they're
Right.
harder to fit in places.
Yeah.
Like this game has, I love it. It's a longer game too. It's 90 minutes at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
So I'm closer to 2 hours if you're playing with four
So
players.
that's even more a high praise for it because it's harder to impress you when the game
And it
takes
has a
90
lot of
minutes.
setup.
Yeah.
All the pieces and all like this. You're in for easily 2 hours between setup.
Right, with setup and teaching
that's if-
and everything.
Yeah, but this game is. I love it.
This is a cool one. I've been wanting to try this one again.
It's so good. Did you ever? I remember you borrowed it for a while. You were going to play two player with.
I don't
Stephanie.
think I ever ended
wonder
up
if that-
getting it to the
yeah.
table. I played it with you, and I think it was just the
two
one
players.
time.
Probably my favorite player count, just because it moves so fast.
So we got to hurry up and finish this video so we can play.
I love this game.
This is really high.
Love it.
I don't have anything else to say.
Other than you want to play it again.
I do want to play it again because I was impressed, but it was enough moving parts that I was like,
It was funny because
I don't know if I just like this or if I'm going to really love this or not. You know what I mean? You need to.
when we played it, I remember Stephanie loving it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great game.
I taught Eagle Griffin Games this because they live in town and they were over for a game night.
Yeah.
Halfway through the game, they bought it. They were like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, no, I'm buying it. I'm like, halfway through your first game, he's like, oh yeah, this is
That's
that
the
good.
most satisfying feeling because you always feel like you're putting yourself out there a little bit when you're
Right.
teaching them a game you really love.
Yes.
And then people buy it halfway, you're like, this is the best result ever. Best result ever.
Yeah. It's,
Usually that's with party games. I've had that happen with like Stay Cool and
Yeah.
Happy Salmon and stuff. But for like a big meaty game like this, that's even more impressive.
and this game can be a little brain burner too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about exploiting the unfair combo that gets put on the board,
Yeah.
seeing it,
Yep.
and taking the opportunity before others can.
Yeah, I got to play this one again.
And all the different tiles, all the different abilities, all the different every game is
totally different.
completely different.
Because like you said, you're building it as you go.
The different machines come out that have different abilities, and like
Yeah.
you're trying to create a cool engine that you're going to be able to use that other people might use if you make it too cool. It's like it's just such a cool thing. Whistle Mountain 24. Number 23 is from both of our favorite designers, who we've talked a lot about in the last couple days.
Okay.
He does a lot of stuff. I think he had 12 games out this year.
Phil Walker Harding.
This is probably my favorite of his, I imagine,
Ooh,
if it's this
he has
high.
so many good games.
Yeah, but what do you think is my favorite of his? Oh, actually, you know what? There is one higher than this.
There's one higher than
Oops.
this. So you have two more coming
This
from
is
him.
probably my I'm trying to remember. This is probably my favorite engine building game.
Is this Gizmos?
It is.
Gizmos. Gizmos is cool. It's not only like mechanically strong, it's a great table presence. It's going to be very different every time you play it. The marble little device thing is so cool. And this is such a departure for Simon as well.
Yeah.
When it came out, I was like, what is, and it was pretty cheap. It was like $30-$40 if I remember right.
Yeah.
And it's simple to, once again, this might be his heaviest game.
I think we looked it up and it was his heaviest game.
Yeah, according to BGG, but it's
But it was still like a 2.5. I'm like, there's no way this is only a 2.5. Candyland's 1, Ticket to Ride's like 2.
Well, you can learn it really easily.
Yeah.
The idea is simple, but then as you end up having all these cards in front of you, and you have to remember what everything
this
does.
red, which allows me to pick a random,
Yes.
and now I'm going to do this. And
But
then
we
I'm gonna
like
do
games that do that. We like games.
Council of 4.
Yes, you were just talking about it either this week or the week before about games where at the beginning, like, how am I going to get anything done? And by the end, you're having these big turns.
Yeah.
And Gizmos definitely delivers in that regard. Yeah, this is great.
I love this one. Have you ever been to a convention where they brought out the giant one?
No.
You know those, you go to like Chuck E. Cheese and they have like the ball pit?
Yes.
Those are the size of the marbles.
What?
They had this huge wooden thing built with all the Chuck E. Cheese balls in there for the marbles.
And the cards are bigger and stuff too, or what?
I don't think
Or is it
so.
just that contraption?
It was
is
just that
enlarged?
contraption.
That's pretty cool.
It was awesome.
You pull it out and it rolls out big bowling balls.
It's awesome. Gizmos, 23.
I didn't expect this to be this high, but you're saying there's another Phil Walker Harding even higher.
There is.
Interesting.
We'll find out.
On this list or in a future week?
I'll tell you in just a minute. Now, I didn't do this on purpose, and I didn't even remember that this was the case.
2 in a row?
2 in a row.
From the same designer.
This has got to be my highest one from him. Coming up.
He's got so many good games.
I know, but this next one's got to be.
Is it Barron Park? I thought it might be Barron Park. Especially, what's nice is there's the simplest version.
Yeah, you could teach
play,
anyone.
I played it with my...
That's with like what, no gold
Yeah,
tiles?
none of the special objectives. It's just get the tiles down, add up the points. But there's still stuff to think about. And I played with my 8-year-old, probably even when she was younger. But then you have the objectives that you throw in, which, by the way, I would say 9 times out of 10, no matter who your audience is, unless it's with a little kid, just throw those objectives in the first time.
Yeah, I think they call it the advanced game.
Yeah, but it's you kind of need them to be fully engaged because the basic game is really basic. But then you add the expansion in too with those like paths that are like 3-dimensional and everything.
Oh,
so I just like that there's these 3 ways to play so that you can really pull it out with anyone. Like gamers are still going, even though it's a light, fast-playing game, gamers are going to still enjoy, with the expansion and everything, they're going to enjoy thinking about all the different options that they have. But you can just strip it down and play it with like a child as well.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love it, like
It's
thinking
great.
2 or 3 turns in advance.
Yeah.
I'm going to place here,
Yep.
it's going to get me this
Yep.
tile. I'm going to
Yep.
take this tile, I'm going to put it there, it's
Yeah.
going to get me that tile. And
so-
it's a race. You're trying
Yes.
to finish your things faster.
Yep. It feels very, you have a lot of moments of feeling rewarded. Where you go, oh yeah, I pulled it off. I pulled it off again. I had a plan, I pulled it. And you're making a lot, like you said, you're thinking 2 or 3 turns out. You're making a lot of short-term plans. And so I think that's part of what's really enjoyable about the experience of playing it.
Every time we
You
play
constantly feel like you're accomplishing things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pulling things off. Anyway, every time you play
Well, every time we play a polyomino game,
yeah.
we always go, well, is it better than Barrow Park? Right? This is like the gold
Yeah,
standard.
it kinda
and even
is.
every time we play a tile-laying Phil Walker Harding game, like last week we played that new
Neoville.
one, Neoville.
Neoville.
Where we're both like, this is really good.
Yeah.
We're like,
Is it better than Barron Park?
it's like, it's close enough to a Barrow
Yeah.
Park where it's like, why would I play that over this? This is just so good.
Yeah.
And it's like we constantly are just like, this is like a
This
cornerstone.
is really high, dude. 22.
And I love it for that reason. I could play it with my dad and
Yeah,
my
you can
family
play with
who
anybody.
don't like a lot of like heavier
Yeah.
games, but I could play it with you with the advanced
Because it
stuff.
feels kind of Tetris-y.
And you could throw in that expansion, which turned
Yeah.
this game into a mind melt.
Yeah, this, like I
A
said,
complete mind
a
melt.
real gamer is still like
the
hardcore
expansion.
gamer or whatever with the expansion isn't going to be like, oh, this is just too light for me. They're still going to be engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Phil Walker Harding again, 2 in a row, not even on purpose. I just didn't even remember that. Barron Park, 22.
Good choice.
All right, number 21, which is interesting because you said that your envelope, you were pretty sure they were all within the top 20.
At least. I thought they were all top 10, but at least top 20.
So two of them are already gone.
Yes, which we will.
And I have a feeling this one might be in there.
Okay, we'll see. I'm looking at the list right now.
This one is a heavier 4X game.
A heavier 4X game? I don't think
Beautiful artwork with mechs.
Heavier 4X game. Oh, Scythe? I didn't know you liked Scythe this much.
I love Scythe.
Okay, Scythe, for some reason, I burned out on a little bit.
We played the...
Yeah, we played the campaign.
We did the campaign?
Yeah, yeah.
Like...
Yeah, got the new factions and... Oh, spoiler alert.
I had Rob Oren paint my set of Scythe.
That's right.
I like it so much. Thank you, Rob. They look great.
Yeah, they do. Amazing. Amazing work.
I love Scythe. It's such a
This
rewarding...
seems
It's such
out of, like, character for you.
It's such a... The fact that every board is different.
Yeah.
Then the second board is different. So every one of your games is different. You've got to figure out, in this game right now, what am I good at?
Yep.
You're trying to maximize so I can do both the top and the bottom actions together.
Yep.
You're messing with people. Combat's not a big thing, but just the threat of combat is a big thing.
It's always there.
You're trying
looming.
to figure out which goals to go for. I love it.
I think
love it.
like Letters from Whitechapel and some of the other ones you've mentioned, it's my enjoyment of it started to taper off, and I don't know what it is.
And just play My Little Scythe, which is almost as good.
Actually, it's really adorable with the pie fights.
It's pie fights. It's like 75% of Scythe, I think.
I mean, they were already on the map, but this really put Stonemaier on the map.
Well, he kickstarted. This was, I think, might have been his last Kickstarter.
Yeah, and it was a huge success.
This like built his company.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful
And then Wingspan
production.
just took it to the...
Yeah, Wingspan brought it to the masses.
Wingspan blew him away.
Yeah, okay. I had forgotten that you like Scythe this much, and I really think this is not normal for you.
No.
This style of
I think if it
game.
had like a lot of like actual combat, I probably wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah.
But because it's not really.
Yeah.
And it's a Euro.
It's a Euro.
I'm not just going up tracks.
No, it makes sense.
I'm not, it's just...
It's thematic.
It's thematic. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Lots of choices, lots of strategies.
Yeah.
Feels different every time you
Well,
play.
like you said, because you're mixing and matching those boards and playing different factions and all that, and starting in different areas of the board. And
it's kind of soloish, but then it's not.
Yeah.
I love this.
yeah,
It doesn't come out as often because of the setup and the teach.
Yeah.
But when it does, oh man.
And it also plays, 2 to 6? Which is nice.
Yeah, and I have like the extra big board too.
Yeah. There was a mat, I think, for it as well.
Maybe it was a mat.
Wasn't
Oh,
it?
no, I think mine was a board. Like you flip the regular board over, then you got a secondary board that like slides in.
That's right.
I got that for it. I love this game.
Scythe is a huge hit.
It almost made my top 20.
You're right. It was 21. This also might be... Oh, so far, I wonder if this is one of your highest ranked, like on BGG.
Oh, in the BGG ranking?
Yeah, I wonder if this is one of your highest ranked.
Probably.
Is this a top 100? It's at least a top 200 game on BGG.
Scythe?
Yeah, it's probably top 100, isn't it?
It's... Really?
Isn't it?
I'd be shocked if it's higher than 14.
You mean you think it's in the top 14?
In BGG?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be
Is it
surprised
really?
if it's not.
I'm confident it's the top
We're going to look in just a second, so don't worry about it. You guys are yelling at the screen right now. Hey, guess what? You have your phones. We don't. Give us a break.
I'm saying it's at least top 100.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I would be floored if it's not top 20.
Well, we'll find out.
There you go. We'll see you next time. We'll see you in just a moment.
14.
No way!
You must have had that subconsciously. All right, Dan. What kind of weird party trick are you doing here?
I swear I did
I
not.
looked it up. It's number 14.
See?
You had that.
I did not.
Well, at some point, it seeped into your subconscious. You saw it there when you were making the list or whatever.
Maybe. I mean, I don't
There's
remember.
no way you just pulled that out of thin air. It's in the top 14 at least. You
I
didn't say 15 or 20.
I
you said
know. It's
14.
just, and I haven't looked recently.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said 14.
That's so
I
random.
really don't.
That's so random.
I know, but it's like.
I knew. See, there's been a lot of games I feel like that have quickly shot up. So I thought it would have been pushed down more by now.
No.
I mean, I knew it was top 100.
It has too many ratings. which on BGG is almost as important as the
Well, it was a huge
as the number
smash
rating.
hit when it came out, and it continues to be discovered and liked.
I can't believe
by
I hit it on the
new-
head of
that-
14.
That is weird, dude.
I should go play a lottery.
Yes, you should. Go
That was
Go to
crazy.
Vegas. End the video. Go to Vegas.
Hey, it's only 4.5 hours ago. Well, wait, let's go drive.
That's right. We'll play Whistle Mountain and then head to Vegas.
Yeah. Wow, 14. Yeah. So there you go. So that was probably the heaviest rack of games.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've predicted 10 in your top 10. And
Yeah,
I said
two of them are gone.
I said I was confident
So
they'd all be in
80%
your
of them are in my
20.
top 20.
So that part I'm right about, that 80, at least the majority, the vast majority, 80% of them are going to be in your top 20.
Yeah, but I also have a section right behind your head
Although
that says Dan's favorites. So,
No, but I came up with this at home. I came up with this list of
oh,
top 10.
you mean you don't see that shelf over there
Well,
every time you come over?
I see it now, but I made this list. I presented the envelope. You have to trust me. It was all done on the up and up weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
All he has to do is look.
Although-
Literally, it's like 2 feet behind
in
him.
big
It says-
red letters, it says
Dan's favorites. It's a whole section of, guess how many games are up there? 20. Oh, how cute.
But here's the thing. What if one of the ones that I predicted in your top 10 isn't even in your top 100?
That's impossible.
Tune in. Find out.
You're fired in that case. But there you go. There's number 30 to 21. Next week, I will be doing or actually probably later this week, I'll be doing my 20 to 11.
Wow. We're really getting to the top tier stuff now. Hopefully you have some that I've played more than once. I felt bad in this video because there was a lot of ones you mentioned that I'm like, yeah, I remember it being
But at
good.
least you played them.
But I've only played the one time.
It wasn't like
like
I've never played this
Covert. Like, man.
None of these have
That
we
was
gone through and you're like,
forever ago.
I've never played that one.
I don't.
Every one of these you've been like, I played it once.
Yeah.
That's hard to say.
I've played a lot of games.
Because I think there'll be plenty on your top 100 that I'll be like,
You'll be
I've
like,
never even played that.
I don't think I've heard
Nor
of
do I
it.
ever want to.
It's a deck builder. Why would I play that?
Exactly. All right, there you go. We'll see you next time. It's been a Game Boy Geek.
Greg Dixon,
See you next time.
thanks for having us.
Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing thematic premium stitch edge mats from noted board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it's a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.